If you're really interested in wine, there is absolutely no avoiding Cabernet Sauvignon, and neither should you, because Cabernet is one of the great varieties of the world. It originates from Bordeaux in France, and has been taken all over the world. And one of the amazing things about this grape is its ability to replicate itself across a whole array of different countries, regions and climates. So it is very consistent. It also needs cellaring. When it's young, it's quite primary, quite elemental. There's a lot of structure, there's a lot of fruit, but it needs time to evolve great complexity. It's not all that exciting when it's first released. It's one of those wines you do need to wait for. And in a day where people are so interested in Pinot Noirs and blends of the Rhone Valley varieties that have so much to offer at a young stage, which is when most of us drink our wine, Cabernet has to some extent been overlooked. However, don't overlook it, do buy it, but do remember that once you've got it, enjoy it when it's really young, or keep it for as long as you possibly can. The good wines from the great vineyards, wherever they're from around the world, will certainly make that a really worthwhile experience for you. When you're tasting young Cabernet, the first thing you'll notice is how dark the colour is. That's because Cabernet has a very thick skin and a small amount of juice in the berry, so it has the capacity to make a wine that is extremely intense in colour, but on the palate, typically full to medium bodied. The aroma of Cabernet is very perfumed and floral. Underneath the perfume of violets, you'll see aromas of dark berries like black currants, blackberries and dark plums. That's often helped along by the winemaker, who might mature the wine in oak to give a little bit of chocolate, cedar and vanilla as well. On the palate, the young Cabernet will be very firm, typically quite astringent and tight. This is very to be expected. Young Cabernet is almost like a military soldier in the way it's very structured, very robust, and it's with time that wine softens and acquires complexity. So the message with Cabernet is, enjoy it when it's young if you like it, but it's really destined to be a wine for the cellar. The wine I've chosen is from one of the great regions in Australia for Cabernet Sauvignon, which is Margaret River in Western Australia. One of the most important but smallest producers in Margaret River is Woodlands, and one of their top wines is called the Margaret, and it's a straight Cabernet, and this one is from vintage 2011, which was a sensational year over in Margaret River. Now, as I've indicated earlier, Cabernet has a really deep colour, and you can just see that here. It's still quite young, even though this is heading towards 4 years of age. There's still a little bit of ruby, perhaps a bit of purple left in the colour. It's not too deep, because the style of this wine, the Margaret, is not too dense, and Woodlands do make a really more elegant more elegant expression of Margaret River Cabernet. It's when you smell the wine that this wine really starts to show itself, because you have all this very intense, slightly leafy, slightly dusty perfume of violets, and it's sort of like brambly black currant, dark cherry, dark plum aroma. And beneath that, there's just a little bit of cedar and vanilla, French oak. What I enjoy about this wine is that it is so, I guess, almost francophilic in style. And what I mean by that is it's not too heavy, not too overtly and obviously new world. In palate weight, you'd call it medium to full bodied, but it has great intensity and length and very fine silky tannin. But that doesn't mean it's a pushover. This wine is going to build in the bottle, and then once it's done that, it's going to be very stable for a long period of time. It will age very slowly. It finishes with almost a savoury, dusty, herbal aspect. And that herbal aspect is a very valid part of what Cabernet is all about. It shouldn't head into excessive greenness or vegetal character, but just a little bit of that herbal character is very varietally correct. So here you have a beautiful, elegant wine that is sadly, and I've got to be honest about this, it's sadly so drinkable now that if I had this, I would easily knock over a bottle with a friend this evening, but that would be one less bottle that I'd have when it really hit its peak in around about 15 years.